Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. Every single day. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the love. I appreciate all the day ones who've been rocking with me since the beginning. Shout out to everyone part of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Follow me on Twitter at Gamecocks Talk. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, and wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. We got a good one today, y'all. I said we got a good one today, y'all. We are talking about ESPN updating their, they call it Hoopgurlz. So they updated their Hoopgurlz ranking. It was about that time. They normally do this around this time here after the summer evaluations, after the summer workouts and tournaments and exposure camps and the best playing the best. It's so awesome now that you can have the top level athletes playing against each other in high school basketball. The summer is so invigorating. It's so amazing. It's so awesome seeing a player like a Kalina Smith, who's ranked as the #1 player in the 2027 class, going against possibly Aaliyah Chavez, who's ranked #1 in the 2025 class. You see, basketball to me is about competition. And if it's about competition, you want to see the best playing the best. These top level recruits, the top 20 recruits in the class of 2025, don't get a whole lot of playing their high school schedule. We have to be honest about that. They don't. They don't get a lot out of it. They don't get a lot out of it by playing against an inferior team and winning by 50 points. No, they get so much after high school basketball ends. That's when the journey actually begins. That's where the competition actually begins, when they are playing against each other. You can see in so many different ones, EYBL, Nike, all these different sponsorship, Under Armour, all these places where they have qualifying tournaments that goes on, and then you make the qualifying tournaments and you move on to the next round, and you playing on ESPN, and everybody can see you play against the best. And then you might make it a Team USA squad, then you playing internationally. It's just, I just love seeing it. And shout out to everybody, all the organizers, and sometimes I got a bad taste in my mouth about AAU basketball. But these tight, real deal exposure evaluations, I love it. I love it. And then you have the college coaches can show up and view not only the player that you are recruiting, but you might see somebody who's like, oh yeah, I came to see such and such, but now such and such is doing that work. So I'm gonna get make an offer to her. Or you have those certain players who has been under-evaluated, has been under-ranked, and show up at these events and show out. And then you see those players rise up the recruiting rankings. And then you have players that are over ranked who go to these things and get found out a little bit, and they fall down the rankings. All in all, it is a wonderful process, and it's a wonderful tool to gauge playing the best versus the best. And everybody do it. Everybody do it. So when it gets to college, you're not seeing this, the layman's eyes who don't follow high school recruiting like that. You're like, oh, snap. You know, Hannah Hidalgo going against MiLaysia Fulwiley. Well, you could go YouTube it and see they played each other multiple times. You know, it's so much fun to see. And ESPN updated their rankings, and some of it I agree with, but most of it I do. I got to be real. Sometimes I say some crap about ESPN, but this right here, I agree with most of what they're doing. So the class of 2025, we have Aaliyah Chavez. Aaliyah Chavez is the #1 ranked player in the country. Over the past 12 months, she's basically been the #1 ranked player overall. Okay, it was a time where Jazzy Davison was the #1 ranked player, and then they flip-flopped, and Aaliyah Chavez has been doing work ever since. She didn't lose any ground over the summer. She was straight up dominating the competition. A lot I like about Aaliyah Chavez. She will look really good in a Gamecock uniform. Her dog, I love. Her dog will hunt. I love that. She talks mess. She's the best player in this 2025 recruiting class. I used to say it was Jazzy. Aaliyah Chavez is the best player in this 2025 class. Her style, her size, and her skill, and her ability to create a shot, in my opinion, is unmatched in this class. She has 3-point range that starts right after the 3-point line, right after the half-court line. She's special. She's a special player. And I mentioned Aaliyah Chavez because Aaliyah Chavez is still targeted by South Carolina, as we all know. South Carolina hasn't made that huge push yet for the services of Aaliyah Chavez. But if we get her on campus, and I say that as a caveat, we need to get these young ladies on campus for official visits. And if you know the history of how Dawn Staley works, she favors the last official visit versus having the first official visits. You know, LSU like having the first official visit, set the tone. Kenny Brooks, the new coach at Kentucky, likes having the first official visit. You can look at a host of players that he has recruited from the 2025 class all the way up to the 2028 class. He got to Kentucky and just started running. It's techniques for both sides of the coin. The problem with some of those things is on one side of the coin, if you offer first and you set the tone, but you don't, close the deal early, thus player will make multiple visits. And if a player gets to South Carolina on that last visit, that player, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're not going to go to Colonial Life Arena in front of 16,000, 17,000 fans doing what we do. Walking past Aja Wilson's statue, walking past the three-time trophies and not being awe. But on the other side of the coin, if Carolina doesn't get that last visit, we saw what happened with Anissa Morrow. Anissa Morrow made that visit to LSU, and we never got on campus. It's techniques to both ways. And I want Aaliyah Chavez to be a Gamecock. But she's leaning towards Texas Tech. She's a Texas girl. Texas Tech, and then LSU. I think the chances of us getting Aaliyah Chavez are slim. But with Dawn Staley, there's always a chance. There is always a chance. Agat Maker moved up the rankings because she was balling out this summer. Now she's the #4 ranked player in the country. 6'1". Ontario, Canada. #4 ranked basketball player in the 2025 class. She obviously has multiple offers and doesn't have a favorite just yet. Playmaking and defense, or what should I say, defense and playmaking. What sets it got Maker apart from pretty much everybody in this class of 2025. She is a dominant defensive player. She has great size for one. She reminds me of a player who I already have in Bree Hall. That's what she reminds me of, except a bigger version of Bree Hall. She reminds me of a Jaden Donovan at Duke. She can make shots. She will guard you. She is a tremendous basketball player, and we have to get a God Maker on campus. It's a must that we get here in for an official visit. It's a must. Going backwards just a second, in terms of Aaliyah Chavez, I'm going to close that chapter on Aaliyah Chavez. We have to do comparison sakes to Aaliyah Chavez. I would say a bigger version of Hannah Hidalgo. Hannah Hidalgo is about 5'6". Aaliyah Chavez is about 5'9", 5'10". Both exciting players. Both of them got that dog in them. Both loves the spotlight. Both of them can shoot that thing. That's the most comparable way I can talk about Aaliyah Chavez, and that's Hannah Hidalgo. Denia Prawl is currently the 13th ranked player in the country. Another young lady from Canada. Canada is doing work. Canada's doing work. And Denia Prawl is probably one of the best all-around big guards, wings in this recruiting cycle. She is her stock is moving up, and when you have a player like Prawl who can do so many things on the court, it would be so advantageous for South Carolina to get her. Now she's leaning towards Miami and Arizona. Denia Prawl, to me, is the best comparison is Madison Booker. You know, she can shoot the ball. She can rebound the ball. She takes care of the ball. She plays a little defense. I like Denia Prawl. I really do. One of my most, I ain't gonna say one of my most. My favorite player in this class of 2025 is Jayla Davis. Jayla Davis is prototypical. She is a carbon copy of what I believe a South Carolina Gamecock post player should be. Without a doubt. She's right now, she's number 15th in the country. She is a fast riser. I have the notion that when it's all said and done, Jayla Davis is going to be a top 7 recruit in this class. 6'2", 6'3", probably the most efficient basketball player in this class. And if you know Captain Will, I love efficiency. I'm not all about the volume of shots. I'm about the shots that you shoot and they go in. You can miss me with all those. I'm shooting 22 times, but I only hit 7 of them. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of volume shooting. I don't care. I don't care at all. And we have a lot of players in college basketball who are volume shooters. We have a lot of players in the WNBA who are volume shooters. I can care less. I look at efficiency. That's what I like. And a player like Jayla Davis is efficient. And she is dominant. Dominant on both sides of the court. She can post up. She can box you out. She can go on defense and beat you up. Yeah, I love that. I love that about Jayla Davis. She is a gritty, hard-nosed basketball player. who is efficient, who loves defense, who loves to rebound the basketball. That just gets me going. It just gets me going. I just love that about her. I want Jayla Davis on this basketball team. My comparison of Jayla Davis is none other than Angel Reese. That's who I compare Jayla Davis to. When I see her play, when I see her on tape, that's what I think about. Angel Reese, who's playing, I would say, it was undersized in the WNBA, but it's killing the rebounds. Sometimes I don't know how she do it. I didn't really understand how she did it in college. But she would get a rebound, offensively especially. That's how I feel about Jayla Davis. We need someone who want to get gritty, who want to go down to the paint and dominate. That's Carolina basketball. Jayla Davis is my favorite player in this class. Coach Staley, please, with sugar on top and a little bit of sprinkles on it, please get Jayla Davis here. Final player that we're going to talk about is Caitlin Carroll. Caitlin Carroll is another fast riser. Currently, she's ranked the number 18th player in the country. She's up in the Massachusetts area. She killed the game this summer as well and played against quality competition and leveled up against that competition. She's a player that's about 6'3", who can post moves on top of post moves. And I like saying post moves on top of post moves because that's Gamecock basketball. Think of a Leah Boston. Think of a Aja Wilson. Think of a Camila Cardoza. Think of players in that vein. And over the last few years, this 6'2", 6'3" player, Caitlin Carroll, I compare her to Reagan Beers. Reagan Beers, who is now at Oklahoma, is going to put in work at Oklahoma because Oklahoma is now in the SEC. Now, we didn't offer Caitlin Carroll until late. We did not. We did not offer it until late. And she recently had an official visit to Kentucky. And it happened to be the weekend that Kentucky and South Carolina played. It was held at Kentucky. If you don't know, if you're not a constant follower of football, Kentucky played South Carolina. South Carolina beat the brakes off Kentucky in their home field, in their stadium. And Caitlin Carroll was there, and she stayed overnight. She stayed to Sunday. So you know Kenny Brooks was putting the work. You know Kenny Brooks was selling this, selling that about coming to his school. Caitlin Carroll has a host of offers. But like I talked about with Jayla Davis, if you are a big, if you are a traditional big in college basketball, the best place for you to go is South Carolina. It's not even a question. It's not even a factor. It's not even a situation where you should think about it. If you are big and you want to get the ball and you want to be a part of the focus, so you want to be real talk, you want to be the focus of the team, because South Carolina is still one of the few teams in the country that actually plays inside out. You need to come to South Carolina. You need to be there. Caitlin Carroll, Jayla Davis. This is where you need to be. Do your visits. Do all those things. Do all the pomp and circumstance. Do all those wonderful things that you do on official visits. But if you want to get to the W and be coached by the best, come on to South Carolina. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and most important, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. If this you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's
after this.